Morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, June 1st, and today we'll cover the trades for YieldMax funds, Tesley, Coney, NVDY, and Msty. So it's Saturday morning, so obviously I'm going to cover the Friday trades, which typically means the closeouts to see how they did. But first, I made some trades myself yesterday. As usual, I believe you guys are interested in this. So I did buy 10 more shares of YieldMax because it dipped below $20. And I did some options trading. I sold a put right on the bottom. I sold a 750 put that expires June 7th. And I got 32 cents per share for one contract. So that's $32 in income. And then on the top, I sold a call. Towards the end of the day, Tesla was kind of recovering a little. I'm like, screw it. Let me sell a call because I knew a bunch of my contracts were expiring the same day. So I figured I'd make some money. So I sold an $8 call that expires June 14th. And I got 40 cents per share. And that's one contract, so I made $40. So basically I made $72 yesterday in options, which, to me, that's not a bad day. To others, it's, I know, chump change. Anyway, let's get to the trades. So lots of trades. Everyone had trades. So first, let's go to Tesley. Tesley has 4 transactions. So basically, you look at the top 2, buy to close. They paid to close their position. They had a call for 187.50. They paid 2 cents to close it. And then they opened a new position into the following week. And you can see the strike price under the ticker, 180. And they got 246 per share. And right below that, same thing, BC buy to close the call that expired yesterday. The cash settled 2 cents per share. And then they opened a new position, short sale. This $32,000. 32,000 contracts, $1.81 credit, 182.50 strike. But let's look at this on the spreadsheet. Okay. They have 2 synthetic positions still. One is a 180 strike, 32,000 contracts. The other is 175 strike, 6,690 contracts. These expire July 19th, so we don't have to talk about them in detail yet. Plus, they didn't add anything to those synthetic positions. All right, so how did they do for the week? They closed out their weekly calls, which, again, they originally made over $1 per share in premium, and they only paid 2 cents to close it. So in the end, this was a win. This was a profitable move because they only had to pay $13,000 and $64,000 to close it. So in the end, the net profit was $5.8 million, which obviously that's a success. So good job, Tesley. You won. You had a great week. Now they opened 2 new positions into the next week. They split this into 2 strike prices, 6,690 contracts, 180 strike, 1.08% out of the money, which, what are you doing, bro? That's a little obnoxious, but what is it yielding? Well, 72%. You didn't have to yield 72%. But again, they could have done this earlier in the day. I know Tesla was up and down all day, but in the end, towards the end of the day, it was recovering. So they could have done this earlier on in the day, and then it recovered. But either way, it didn't recover that much. So the other position, 32,000 contracts, was 182.50 strike. That's 2.48% out of the money, which, okay, that's really, by the way, it's 0.01% off on both. So I show the price 170. So it did change. I have 178.08. They have 178.10. Let me fix that. Okay. So now my percent out of the money equals the as at out of the money. So anyway, 2.47% out of the money for the larger position, which, both of these strike prices are kind of ridiculous heading into next week, 5 trading days. But, it happens on occasion. Outstanding shares, no change, 44 million. So here's the summary. The 30-day IV is 45%. Outstanding shares, 44,450,000. Total net income from the weekly options is 21.5 million. That's a distribution of 49 cents per share, daily income of 2 cents, daily yield of 0.11%, and annualized yield of 39%. So that's kind of more in line with what you would expect to get, which is pretty good. Reaction, Tesley fund manager is now sticking out the money tongue because they are making money. But, at the same time, they had to go ahead and ruin it and do some tight strikes. Like, why? I mean, what did they do last week? Let's just check that real quick. I want to see what they opened those positions on. They were 4% and 3% out of the money last week, which yielded, lower, 35 and 45%. And this one, 1% and 2% out of the money yielded 72 and 52%. So a little inconsistency there. Declaration date is coming up, 4 days. So this weekend I will get the estimates out. All right, here's the payment information. Synthetic income, nothing. Short call income, 21.5 million. So that calculates to be 49 cents per share. If I go down to the estimate calc, that comes out to be about 55 cents per share, which is a 43% yield. And to be honest, my estimate is going to be around that number. So, because it makes sense, their implied volatility is around that number as well. So they're going to yield what their implied volatility is for the most part, which usually lands around 45 to 50% lately. So outstanding holdings, we really don't need to get into because, again, their synthetic expires July 19th, and the calls they just opened expire next Friday. But their net asset value of the fund is $679.4 million. The NAV, 1529, trade price 1530. Okay, let's go to the next fund. A lot of action. I'm going to try to do this reasonably fast. So this one's easy. 3 transactions, a buy call, a sell put. That's adding 120 contracts to the synthetic position for NVDY. And then on the bottom, they use those same contracts and they sell a call right away into next week, expiring June 7th. And obviously they collected some premium for that. So let's take a look at the spreadsheet. No birds on the weekend. I guess they're off. All right, synthetic 1130. They added 120 contracts, right? So what did it cost them? Well, it didn't cost them anything because the call was cheaper than the put. They actually netted, around 400,000, a little less. Because if you look, NVIDIA is now priced below their synthetic strike. They're 3% below. But again, this doesn't really, that's not too bad. And again, it expires July 19th. NVIDIA, though, probably going to go up heading into the 10-for-1 reverse split. That's coming up on June 7th, which, I guess that's Friday, right? Next week. Is that Friday? Yeah, it is. Damn. Oh, boy. So, I'm expecting NVIDIA to kind of jump up next week. I didn't even consider that when looking at what they did with the calls. I don't even remember what they did, but we'll take a look. Anyway, NVIDIA went down 0.82%. NVIDIA went down 0.66%. So, okay, flat day. That's fine. Remember, the other day they closed out, I grade these out, but they closed out these positions, right? They took the massive hit, which is a huge loss, but they rolled their synthetic. It was a synthetic bailout, as we said. So they did make income when all said and done, when we net everything together. All right. So heading into next week, we already talked. Well, we'll recap. So yesterday, or the day before yesterday, they did 4,950 contracts, 1,215 strike price. It's now 10.86% out of the money. So heading into a 10-for-1 reverse split, okay, I'll take that 2% gain a day. And then we have 120 contracts. This is the one they did yesterday, 1135 strike. They decided to go a little tighter, a little obnoxious there, 3.56% out of the money. But it's only 120 contracts, so we can live with that. What do these yield? 40 and 57% annualized. And outstanding shares, they went up 325,000 because people love NVIDY. People want a piece of NVIDY. 30-day IV, 45%, similar to Tesla. Outstanding shares, 19,525,000. Total net income is not a net income. It's actually a loss of 46.6 million. So, yeah, the damage has been done. NVDY fund manager still smirking from the other day when they rolled their synthetic. They did their bailout, get out of jail free card. So they're starting out fresh. All right, so what are we looking at here? What the hell are we looking at? We're looking at synthetic income over 100 million, 106 million. Short call loss, 46 million. So net 59.6 million, which comes to about $3.05 per share in total for the month. How much are they going to pay out of that? Nobody knows, right? So I'll throw up an estimate later in the day, hopefully today or tomorrow, and then we'll talk about it then. But, you know, for the most part, they're not paying $3. There's no way. Are they paying $2? I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. I have to think about it. But what they do last month, they paid out $1.19. And the month before that, they paid $2.60. So it could be anywhere, right? It could be anywhere. These are getting harder and harder to predict. All right, so holdings, what do we got? Well, again, synthetic expired July 19th. All of their synthetics, all four of these, by the way, their synthetics expired July 19th. So the net asset value of this fund, 556.3 million. The NAV is 28.49 and the trade price is 28.53, almost $30. We got to hit that, man. Maybe next week. All right, so that's NVDY. Who's next? Who's next in line? All right, Mr. Coney, what did they do? Well, a whole bunch of BCs. BC, when you see BC, it's buy to close, okay? And if you look to the left, these are calls. So they closed out 3 different calls. And to the way right, execution price, this is how much they paid per share to close out the position. Because again, they always cash settle their positions, all right? And then they open a new position, which on the bottom you'll see, they only opened one though. You know, they closed out various contracts, various strike prices, and they decided to open a new one at 1 strike. You know, the SS being the short sale, selling a call into next week. So we'll see what that looks like on the spreadsheet. Coney. End of month. This is the busiest weekend for me, end of month. All right, so we have synthetic 230, no change, okay? So they didn't add anything. They didn't remove anything. Right now, they're about 1.77% below their synthetic strike price. That expires July 19th, 49 days away. All right, so how did CONY do yesterday? CONY went down 3.76%. Coney, what the hell? Went down 4.48%. What the heck? That's weird. That is weird. But it is what it is. All right. Not gonna lie, didn't see that yesterday. I'm plugging these in, but here we go. Let's see how these closeouts looked. So they paid what? 3 cents, 3 cents, 2 cents. I mean, when they're paying that, they're basically paying nothing. So these transactions from last week, these trades, they're all profitable, right? In the end, they made about 6.5 million in profit from last week, which yielded anywhere from 54, 70, and 92% annualized yield. So successful week for Coney. And heading into next week, again, they have all their eggs in one basket, 24,035 contracts, 235 strike, 4% out of the money. Kind of tight. I mean, this is crypto. We're in the crypto bull run, apparently. Why are we doing 4% out of the money? Why are we doing 1 strike price? I don't know, but hopefully they're right. What is this yielding on an annualized base? This is a 90% annualized yield, so they probably could have went a little higher in that strike price, right? What's their IV? 71%. So typically, again, they try to strive for a yield similar to what their IV is, at least so I'm told. All right, outstanding shares. Did it move? No, it did not. So Coney not getting the love. All right, here's the summary. 30-day IV, 71%. Outstanding shares, 24,025,000. Net income from the weekly calls alone, 9.8 million. Distribution comes to 41 cents. Daily income, 1 penny. Daily yield, 0.06%. Annualized yield, 22.7%. Not the numbers we look for at a Coney, which is why the fund manager is not smiling this weekend. They're just kind of bummed out. They've been doing nothing but good stuff, and they finally got beat. All right. So what's the summary look like? Do we have a synthetic bailout here? Nope. We have a synthetic disaster here. $59 million loss. But we got some short call income, $9.8 million, but that's a net income loss for the month of $49.8 million. So if we just look at the short call income, we're looking at 41 cents per share. If we estimate that, that'll be 47 cents per share with a 25% yield. And we can all guess that our estimate will be above that, way above that, more than double that. I don't know my number yet, but I will get that out, like I said, later today or tomorrow. Outstanding holdings, again, we're not going to really cover. Synthetic expires July 19th, and then they only have one stinking call in blue. But the net asset value of this fund, $547.4 million. The NAV is $22.79. Trade price, right on the money, $22.79. So that's it for the cones. All right, who's next? MSTR, MSTY. Look at all these transactions. What the hell is going on? So let's convert this to English, right? So buy, call, sell, put right on the top. Adding to the synthetic. For whatever reason, those 35 contracts, way down below. They used it way down below. I guess this is an order of what they do, maybe, I don't know. And then they have some BCs, so they buy to close several calls from last week. And then they use those same contracts, you'll see in SS, and then they're selling calls into the following week. I'm not going to go through each one, there's too many, but I think you guys all get the gist of this. All right, pull up another spreadsheet. The never-ending spreadsheets. So let's look at the synthetic. They did add to it 35 contracts. Cost them, nothing. They made about a $60,000 credit because it cost, MSTR is priced below their synthetic strike, which, only 1% though. So all good there. Again, their synthetic also expires July 19th. So how did MSTR fare yesterday? Let's see. Well, they went down 1.07%. And here's another one. MSTY went down 1.54%. Guess it's because of the Friday closeouts and all this. It's not the normal day. All right, so how do these closeouts look for MSTY? Did they win their trades? Yes, obviously, because they only paid 2 cents, 5 cents, 2 cents. So in the end, what are we looking at? Well, how many? These three. Profit, what we got? 2.6 million, 2.7 million in profit for the week. So that's pretty good. And then next week, what do they got? They got a whole bunch of contracts. So the ones they did yesterday, we'll cover them first, I guess. 80 contracts, 1610 strike. That's 5.61% out of the money. They used the same strike with the 885 contracts. So the majority position is at 1610, which is 5.6% out of the money. And then they have 35 contracts, 1615, moved up a little, 5.94% out of the money. So they also have, from previous days, 23 contracts with a 1770 strike. At least that one's 16% out of the money. And then they have 15 contracts, 1800 strike. That one's 18% out of the money. So a little scattered, but they're really bulked up in the 1610 range. So we're looking, we really don't want to go above 5% gains next week based on that. So I don't get it. A little tight, man. A little tight. Too tight for me. What do we got? Any gains? Any outstanding shares increase? Of course, 175,000. That's an increase of 3.5%. So the summary for Msty is 30-day IV, 93%, really good. Outstanding shares, 5.1 million. And then we got the weekly income, which is not income for this either. It's a loss of 11.4 million. So the reaction is, well, that's kind of me because I'm stunned with the strikes going a little tight considering, MSTR was kind of dipping during the week, right? Down 1%, down 4%, 3%. I feel like, it could flip the other way. So that's why I'm a little stunned at the strikes. All right, how's May doing? Well, we got synthetic income, 34.3 million. We got short call loss, 11.4. So net income, 22.8 million. So we're looking at 442 in total income per share. Are they going to pay us $4 per share? Absolutely not. What are they going to pay? Who the hell knows? Like I said, I'll get that out soon, but I'm going to base my estimates on the information as of today, but keep in mind declaration date, I believe, is actually Wednesday. So we do have Monday and Tuesday to consider and add into what they might pay. So, my estimate, obviously, it's based on today's cutoff. All right. So outstanding holdings. Again, they got 4 different strikes and which is good, but they're top heavy in one. And then they got synthetic position expiring July 19th. So the net asset value here, 168.1 million. The NAV is 32.50 and the trade price is 32.55. So that's it. That's the moral of the story for the week. That's the summary. Kind of good mixture of good and bad news. We got rid of the NVDY bad news the day before, so Friday was a little easier. Still a busy day, always a busy day. And of course, it's month end, makes it even busier. So real quick update for this weekend's videos. Please, you will expect YieldMax estimates. You can expect my options and swing trading update. You can also expect my monthly account update, which shows how I did for the month, how many dividends I got paid, if I'm on target for my goals, etc., and so forth. And then I will also cover Defiance to see how they did up until declaration date based on what they paid. Did they make a capital gain? Did they have some NAV left over? We shall see. So tune into those videos. I'll get them out. I don't know. Hopefully I'll get some of them done today, some of them done tomorrow, and they'll all be done for the weekend. But either way, guys, as always, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you were entertained. If not, we will try better next week, right? On the Monday recap, but time will tell. All right, I hope you guys are happy with the results. I guess you're really just waiting for the estimates at this point. So again, I'll do my best to get it out today. If not, the latest it'll be out is tomorrow. So stay tuned for that, okay? And yeah, that's all I got. So let me end it there. Keyword, what do we got? Keyword today. Well, I guess unrelated to YieldMax, I looked out the window this morning around 3 or 4 a.m. and there was a skunk in the front yard. So today's keyword is skunk. It was a big ass skunk too. So I was like, damn. But hopefully he's gone now. Hopefully when I leave for the gym, he's far, far away. But either way, today's keyword is skunk. Yes, I know, unusual, but it is what it is. Got to change it up sometime, right? But yeah, for those of you that are new, I do a keyword at the end of every video, almost every video. And all it does, if you comment it down below, it proves that you made it to the end of the video, if you care. All right, I'm out of here. Have a great weekend. Later.